The precise increase in maximum takeoff weight is still unknown. British Airways and Emirates were to be the first customers to take this offer. As of December 2015, Airbus had 319 orders for the passenger version of the A380 and was not then offering the A380-800 freighter. Production of the A380F was to be suspended until a 380 production line settled. No firm availability date was given. A number of original A380F orders, notably FedEx and the United Parcel Service, were cancelled following delays to the A380 program in October 2006. Some A380 launch customers converted their A380F orders to the passenger version or switched to the 747-8F or 777F aircraft. At Farnborough in July 2016, Airbus announced that in a prudent, proactive step, starting in 2018, it expected to deliver 12 A380 aircraft per year, down from 27 deliveries in 2015. The firm also warned production might slip back into the red on each aircraft produced at that time, though it anticipated production would remain in the black for 2016 and 2017. The firm expected that healthy demand for its other aircraft would allow it to avoid job losses from the cuts. As of June 2014, Boeing had 51 orders for the 747-8I passenger version and 69 for the 747-8F freighter. In February 2019, Airbus announced the end of A380 production by 2021, after its main customer, Emirates, dropped an order for 39 of the aircraft. Airbus was to build 17 more A380s before closing the production line, taking the total number of expected deliveries of the aircraft type to 251. At the time, 747 backlog and production rates were sufficient to sustain production until late 2022. As of the 31st of January 2020, Boeing had no outstanding unfulfilled orders for the 747-8I passenger version and 17 for the 747-8F freighter. Airbus had 11 A380s remaining to be delivered. EADS/Northrop Grumman KC-45 of ES Boeing KC-767, edit. Main article, KCX. The announcement in March 2008 that Boeing had lost a $40 billion refueling aircraft contract to Northrop Grumman and Airbus for the EADS/Northrop Grumman KC-45 with the United States Air Force drew angry protests in the United States Congress. Upon review of Boeing's protest, the Government Accountability Office ruled in favor of Boeing and ordered the USAF to recompete the contract. Later, the entire call for aircraft was rescheduled, then cancelled, with a new call decided upon in March 2010 as a fixed-price contract. Boeing later won the contest against Airbus, Northrop having withdrawn, and US Aerospace /Antonov, disqualified, with a lower price, on the 24th of February 2011. The price was so low some in the media believed Boeing would take a loss on the deal. They also speculated that the company could perhaps break even with maintenance and spare parts contracts. In July 2011, it was revealed that projected development costs rose $1.4 billion and will exceed the $4.9 billion contract cap by $300 million. For the first $1 billion increase, from the award price to the cap, the U.S. government would be responsible for $600 million under a 60/40 government/Boeing split. With Boeing being wholly responsible for the additional $300 million ceiling breach, Boeing would be responsible for a total of $700 million of the additional cost. Modes of competition, edit. Outsourcing, edit. Because many of the world's airlines are wholly or partially government-owned, aircraft procurement decisions are often taken according to political criteria in addition to commercial ones. Boeing and Airbus seek to exploit this by subcontracting the production of aircraft components or assemblies to manufacturers in countries of strategic importance in order to gain a competitive advantage overall. For example, Boeing has maintained long-standing relationships since 1974 with Japanese suppliers including Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and Kawasaki Heavy Industries, by which these companies have had increasing involvement on successive Boeing jet programs, a process which has helped Boeing achieve almost total dominance of the Japanese market for commercial jets. Outsourcing was extended on the 787 to the extent that Boeing's own involvement was reduced to little more than project management, design, assembly, and test operation, outsourcing most of the actual manufacturing all around the world. Boeing has since stated that it outsourced too much and that future airplane projects will depend far more on its own engineering and production personnel. Partly because of its origins as a consortium of European companies, Airbus has had fewer opportunities to outsource significant parts of its production beyond its own European plants. However, in 2009 Airbus opened an assembly plant in Tianjin, China for production of its A320 series airliners, and opened a similar assembly plant in Alabama, United States, in 2015. Technology, edit. Airbus sought to compete with the well-established Boeing in the 1970s through its introduction of advanced technology. For example, the A300 made the most extensive use of composite materials yet seen in an aircraft of that era, and by automating the flight engine's functions, was the first wide-body jet to have a two-person flight crew. In the 1980s Airbus was the first to introduce digital fly-by-wire controls into an airliner, the A320. With Airbus now an established competitor to Boeing, both companies use advanced technology to seek performance advantages in their products. Many of these improvements are about weight reduction and fuel efficiency. For example, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner is the first large airliner to use 50% composites for its construction. The Airbus A350XWB features 53% composites. Engine choices, edit. The competitive strength in the market of any airliner is considerably influenced by the choice of engine available. In general, airlines prefer to have a choice of at least two engines from the major manufacturers General Electric, Rolls-Royce and Pratt & Whitney. However, engine manufacturers prefer to be a single source and often succeed in striking commercial deals with Boeing and Airbus to achieve this. In 2008, the competition was developing between two sides as Airbus selected the Rolls-Royce Trent XWB alone for the Airbus A350, while GE avoided a $1 billion development competing with its Boeing 777HGW exclusive GE90. In 2013, Boeing rejected a Rolls-Royce engine for the 777X to favor General Electric's GE9X. In 2014, Rolls-Royce secured its exclusivity to power the A330neo with the Trent 7000. Other aircraft providing a single-engine offering include the Boeing 737 MAX, CFM LEAP, or the Airbus A220, P&W GTF, while those with multiple sources include the Boeing 787, GX/Trent 1000, or the Airbus A320neo, P&W GTF/CFM LEAP. Currency and exchange rates, edit. Boeing's production costs are mostly in United States dollars, whereas Airbus's production costs are mostly in euro. When the dollar appreciates against the euro, the cost of producing a Boeing aircraft rises relatively to the cost of producing an Airbus aircraft, and conversely, when the dollar falls relative to the euro, it is an advantage for Boeing. There are also possible currency risks and benefits involved in the way aircraft are sold. Boeing typically prices its aircraft only in dollars, while Airbus, although pricing most aircraft sales in dollars, has been known to be more flexible and has priced some aircraft sales in Asia and the Middle East in multiple currencies. Depending on currency fluctuations between the acceptance of the order and the delivery of the aircraft, this can result in an extra profit or extra expense, or, if Airbus has purchased insurance against such fluctuations, an additional cost regardless. Safety and quality, edit. Most aircraft dominating the company's current sales, the Boeing 737 and Airbus A320 families and both companies' wide-body offerings, have good safety records. Older model aircraft such as the Boeing 707, Boeing 727, Boeing 737-100/200, Boeing 747-100/SP/200/300, Airbus A300, and Airbus A310, which were first flown during the 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s, have had high rates of fatal accidents. Both companies tend to avoid safety comparisons when selling their aircraft to airlines or comparisons on product quality. According to Airbus's John Lee in 2013, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner battery problems would not cause customers to switch airplane suppliers. The grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX following two high-profile crashes is also unlikely to significantly benefit Airbus at least short-term, as both the 737 MAX and A320neo production lines have backlogs of several years and changing manufacturers requires significant crew training. Aircraft prices, edit. Airbus and Boeing publish list prices for their aircraft, but the actual prices charged to airlines vary. They can be difficult to determine and tend to be much lower than the list prices. Both manufacturers are engaged in a price competition to defend their market share. The actual transaction prices may be as much as 63% less than the list prices, as reported in 2012 in the Wall Street Journal, giving some examples from the Flight International subsidiary Ascend. Model list price 2012, US $M market price percent discount. Boeing 737 to 884 41 51%. Boeing 737-900 90 45 50%. Boeing 777-300 298 149 50%. Airbus A319 81 30 63%. Airbus A320 88 40 55%. Airbus A330-200 209 84 60%. In May 2013, Forbes magazine reported that the Boeing 787 offered at $225 million was selling at an average of $116 million, a 48% discount. For Ascend's Les Wheel launch, customers obtain good prices on heavier aircraft. Lessors are large buyers and benefit too, like airlines as Singapore Airlines or Cathay Pacific, since their name gives credibility to a program. In its annual report, Air France cites a €149 million, $195 million, a 380, a 52% cut, while in an October 2011 financial release Doric Nimrod Air notes $234 million for its A380 leased to Emirates. Teal Group's Richard Abalafia notes that Boeing's pricing power for the 777-300ER was better when it was alone in its long-haul, large-capacity twinjet market, but this advantage dissipates with the A350-1000 coming. For Leham Scott Hamilton, small orders are content with 35–40% discount, but large airlines sometimes attain 60%, and customers with old ties with Boeing like American, Delta or Southwest get a most favored customer clause guaranteeing them no other customer gets a lower price. Wells Fargo indicates Southwest, the largest 737 customer with 577, got a unit price of $34.7 million for its 737 MAX order of 150 in December 2011, a 64% discount. Ryanair got 53% in September 2001 and claims to obtain at least the same on its last 175 orders. The Airbus Boeing WTO proceedings indicates EasyJet got a $19.4 million unit price on its A319 order for 120 in 2002, a 56% discount at the time. The same kind of rebate Ryanair got for its A320 order of 234 on the 18th of March 2013. Each sale includes an escalation rate covering the workforce and raw material costs increases, and as acquisition cost represents 15% of the 20-year total cost of ownership. Discussions also include the delivery date, fuel consumption guarantees, financial incentives, maintenance, and training. At Airbus, final price in large campaigns is validated by a committee comprising sales head John Lee, Program Director Tom Williams, Financial Principal Harold Wilhelm, and CEO Fabrice Brigia, who has the final cut. Those discounts were presented again in La Nouvelle Observateur's Challenges.fr, again with ascent valuations in 2013. Model list price 2013 market price discount. Boeing 747-8 351.4 145.059%. Airbus A320-291.5 38.75 58%. Airbus A330-200 239.4 99.5 58%. Boeing 737-889.1 41.8 53%. Boeing 777-300 315.0 152.5 52%. Airbus A380-400 3.9 193.0 52%. Airbus A320neo 100.2 49.2 51%. Boeing 737 MAX 8 100.5 51.4 49%. Boeing 787-8 206.8 107.0 48%. Airbus A350-900 287.7 152.0 47%. In 2014, Airways News indicated discounted list prices for long-haul liners. Model list price 2014 market price discount. Airbus A330-900 275.6 124.0 55%. Airbus A350-900 295.2 159.4 46%. Boeing 777-200 LR 296.0 118.4 60%. Boeing 787-9 249.5 134.7 46%. On the 24th of December, 2014, Transasia Airways announced a commitment to for a 330-800s, list price $241.7 million, for $480 million or $120 million each. At the end of 2015, the sale and leaseback of new Airbus A350-900 from Airbus to Finnair value them at €132.5 million, $144 million. In order to close the production gap between the B777 Classic and the new 777X, Boeing is challenged by a $120 million market price for the -300s. Competitive pressure from the Bombardier C-Series and E-Jet E2 lead Boeing to pursue the development of the 737 MAX 7 despite low sales, and to sell the Boeing 737-700 at $22 million to United Airlines, 27% of the 2015 list price and well below what Embraer or Bombardier could offer for their aircraft. Moody's Investors Service estimates Delta Airlines paid $40 million each for its 37 A321ceo order on the 29th of April, 2016, an end-of-the-line model pricing of 35% of the $114.9 million list price. Likewise, Air Caraïbes subsidiary French Blue received its A330-300 for $100 million in September 2016. May 2016 market prices. Aircraft list, $M, MKT value, $M, discount seats MKT /seat. A380-432.6 236.5 45% 544,434,743. B777-300 339.6 154.8 54% 368,420,652. A350-900 308.1 150.0 51% 325 461,538. B787-9 264.6 142.8 46% 290 492,414. B787-8 224.6 117.1 48% 242 483,884. A330-300 256.4 109.5 57% 277 395,307. A330-200 231.5 86.6 63% 247 350,607. A321 114.9 52.5 54% 185 283,784. A320neo 107.3 48.5 55% 165 293,939. B737-900 101.9 48.1 53% 174 276,437. B737-800 96.0 46.5 52% 160 290,625. A320 98.0 44.4 55% 150 296,000. A31989.637.358%, 124,300,806. B737-780.635.356%, 128,275,781. This appears in the manufacturer's accounting. In their annual reports, Boeing values its 5,700 airliners order book at $416 billion using the contractual prices, while Airbus has a backlog of 6,900 worth €1,010, $1,200 billion at catalog prices. But when updating to more stringent IFRS 15 rules, Credit Suisse estimates it will be revised to €500 billion from 945. Airbus will disclose its backlog value in its 2018 annual report at the latest. In January 2018, Airbus and Boeing raised their list prices by 2% and 4%. Further obscuring pricing transparency as discount levels will rise, and with the growing importance of aftermarket services, following the power-by-the-hour engine maker model. In February 2018, Hawaiian Airlines cancelled its order for 6 Airbus A330-800s to replace them with Boeing 787-9s priced less than $100,115m. Close to their production cost of $80.90m, while their normal sales price is around $125 million. By mid-2019, market values are pressured downward by cheap fuel at $2 per gallon, down from $3 in 2011-2014, and low aircraft lease rates reaching less than 0.7% per month, while lessors manage 45% of the deliveries. It is exacerbated for Boeing amid the Boeing 737 MAX groundings. The value of a new 737 MAX 8 was reduced by 5% from $49.1 million to $46.7 million. While a new A320neo stays at $49.1 million according to Flight Global affiliate Ascend. The A330neo was developed at a fraction of the 787's cost, so Airbus can compete aggressively on price, while the A330neo can almost match the 787's performance. Boeing had to discount the Dreamliner to win recent deals, and 787-9 values eroded from the low $140 million range to the mid $130 million range. Production planning, edit. Former Airbus executive John Lee indicated that Airbus has overbooked orders in its backlog, just as Boeing does, and uses internal algorithms to anticipate defections in order to maintain steady production. Effect of competition on product plans, edit. The A320 has been selected by 222 operators. December 2008, among these several low-cost operators, gaining ground against the previously well-established 737 in this sector. It has also been selected as a replacement for 727s and aging 737s by many full-service airlines such as Star Alliance members United Airlines, Air Canada, and Lufthansa. After dominating the very large aircraft market for 4 decades, the Boeing 747 faced a challenge from the A380. In response, Boeing offered the stretched and updated 747-8, with greater capacity, fuel efficiency, and range. Frequent delays to the Airbus A380 program caused several customers to consider cancelling their orders in favor of the refreshed 747-8. In February 2019, Airbus announced the end of the A380 production after the remaining orders would be delivered. By June 2019, 154 Boeing 747-8 were ordered and 134 delivered, while 290 Airbus A380 were ordered and 238 delivered. Boeing pursued and then cancelled several projects, including the Sonic Cruiser. Boeing's current platform for fleet rejuvenation is the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, which uses technology from the Sonic Cruiser concept. Boeing initially ruled out producing a re-engined version of its 737 to compete with the Airbus A320neo family launch planned for 2015, believing airlines would be looking towards the Boeing Y1 and a 30% fuel saving, instead of paying 10% more for fuel efficiency gains of only a few percents. Industry sources believe that the 737's design makes re-engineering considerably more expensive for Boeing than it was for the Airbus A320. However, there was considerable demand. Southwest Airlines,